Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's dive into the story of a neighborhood 4th of July party that almost got spoiled by an entitled guest. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like if you enjoy the content, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a juicy story. You've set off enough of them. Time for Ledandre to have a turn. Every year I host a neighborhood party for the 4th of July. Everyone's welcome, unless they decide to be an a-hole. I live in a pretty poor area, I'm the only one with a pool, and I bought the property next door and knocked the house down, so I have a double-sized plot. I'm not saying any of this to brag, just explaining background information. Plenty of room to party. The party went well. People started showing up around 1 p.m. We played in the pool, we chased my dogs around the yard, we ate some barbecue, and we had some beers. The teenagers went off to take a walk, read, smoke some pot, right before sunset, so it was just adults and small children around when I started my fireworks show. Every year I spend $2,000 to $3,000 on fireworks. I only set them off between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. on the 4th. I'm not one of those folks setting off fireworks for a week before and after the holiday. One rule I have is that I'm the only person who's allowed to light fireworks on my land. If anyone's getting rushed to the ER, missing some fingers, it's not going to be one of my guests. It's going to be me. So I set off my first 3 rounds of mortars, 28 total fireworks, and as I'm getting set up for the 4th round, 22 fireworks, a woman who I've never met approaches me. She's apparently my 4th neighbor to the west's sister, but I had no idea who she was at the time. Her. My daughter's really enjoying the show, but she wants to light one instead of just watching. Me. Sorry, I don't let anyone light fireworks on my property but me. This isn't exactly safe, and I don't want to get sued. Her. Oh, sugar, it's okay. She'll be fine. Look how sad she is. At this moment, she points at a smiling girl who's clearly no older than 7. Me. I'm sorry, but even if she were 21, I wouldn't let her do it. There's no way I'm letting a child risk their fingers. Her. You just want to hog all the fun for yourself. You've set enough of them off. Time for Ledandre to have a turn. Stop being selfish. Me. Ma'am, you and your daughter have been enjoying my food, my pool, and my yard for the past 8 hours. For free. And you're calling me selfish because I care about your child's safety? Her. But she wants to light one. Me. That's not going to happen. And if you continue to push the issue, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Now, kindly step back so that I can continue the show. We've been arguing this whole time, and people want to see fireworks, not arguments. Just sit back and enjoy the holiday. At that point, she went over to her daughter, grabbed her by the arm, and went back to her brother's house. I feel bad for the kid. She missed the rest of the show, and she missed the homemade ice cream cake I bring out at the end of the party. Her brother and his kids stayed at the party and had a great time. I hope the little girl was at least able to watch the show from the window or their own yard or something. The small child wasn't the one being a baby, the mom was. It's absurd to see a 7-year-old who's more mature than her mom. And our second story. What about our birthday party? A few pool clothes posts reminded me of a story I forgot about until I was talking to my old boss. Pretty anticlimactic ending, but still funny. This story is based in the 90s. Before Karen's, the internet was shoddy. Most of our issues were pool-related because we were the biggest hotel in the city at the time. The owner was not into spending money on maintenance, so constant maintenance issues in between major remodels. So, the pool. The owner had no birthday parties in the pool policy. It was just way too much of a headache, and when you have 200 rooms and one pool, there's no way you can reserve the pool for a Saturday afternoon without causing chaos, so we just didn't do it. It didn't stop guests from trying, though, and I have multiple fun stories about that. As I said, with 200 rooms, the pool got gross quickly, and the older it became, the more often that it was shut down on the weekends because the maintenance peeps couldn't get it to a safe state. It was not fun, but people didn't typically get that crazy over it. We just put up a sign, locked the doors, and explained the situation when someone came to the desk to ask. One summer Saturday afternoon, we have a full house, and I have a woman come walking in with her entourage, hauling in coolers, balloons, crock-pots, a cake, presents, etc. I'm already looking for the party room bookings for that day, but nothing was booked. We had everyone checked in, and so I knew this was trouble. They walk right past the front desk to the pool, and I hear the screech, "The doors are locked and the pool is closed." I then hear the slap of her flip-flops as she makes her way to the desk, and she was angry. Dialogue a bit fuzzy as this was over 20 years ago. BPM, birthday party mom, the pool's closed. Me, yes it is, that's correct. The pool's not safe right now, so it's closed for maintenance. BPM, I have a birthday party booked for the pool. What are you going to do? We have 100 people coming. Me, we do not book our pool for birthday parties. Do you have the right hotel? BPM, of course I do. Me, okay, do you have a room reservation or party room reservation? BPM, no, I just booked the pool. Me, as I said before, we don't book just the pool. If we did, there would be a lot of notes and documentation, and someone from our sales department would have been here to handle it. Sales refused to work weekends, so second reason why it never happened? BPM, well, we're here, let us in. Me, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. BPM, that's fine, I'll just call the owner. I know Joe, and I'll make sure he rips you a new one for this. The owner's name wasn't Joe, and we didn't have one on staff? Scare tactic. Me, okay, go ahead. BPM whips out cell phone and proceeds to call someone and makes a big scene about how I won't let them in. There, you're about to be fired. They're on their way. Me, great, have a seat in the lobby. I'll talk to Joe when they arrive. BPM gets her entourage situated and proceeds to stand at the front desk glaring at me while I go about my business. She calls Joe every 15 minutes asking him to hurry up and telling me that she'll forgive everything and smooth it over with Joe if I just let them in. Me, I'm sorry, I can't. An hour passes by and her guests start to arrive. She's in the lobby. Everyone's confused as to what's happening. People who are with her group are coming to the desk to keep asking me to let them in. I keep saying no. BPM, fine, you win. If I rent a party room, can we go into the pool? I can't believe you made me embarrassed in front of all my guests. Me, I can rent you a party room. I still can't let you into the pool. BPM, fine, how much? Me, you'll need the biggest room and that's $200. BPM, I'm not paying that. Me, so far your intention was not to pay to be here at all, just to come in and take over the pool, break all the rules, and do it for free. I took a risk because she didn't really know the owner. BPM whispers, please, help me out. Cut me a deal here. I'm desperate. Me, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I was the assistant manager. I could, but knew better at this point. All of a sudden, one of her guests, BPM, did you even try renting the pool this time, or were you just going to try and sneak in? It didn't work last year either. Come on, everyone, we're going to my house. BPM hung her head and followed them out. We did get a complaint filed through corporate on Monday, but the owner just asked what happened, called me a good girl, and threw it away. I love when the reasonably classy friend always calls out that tacky friend in front of everybody, makes everything good again for the staff. And our last story. My house! Our friend Carl, C., stayed with us for 2 weeks. Then we went to meet his wife, Tiffany, T., to talk about things. When he left our place, he was planning to break up, but ended up staying the night and rang my husband the next day to say he decided to try and work things out with her. About a week later, my husband and C caught up for a beer, and C told him he found out she'd opened up a personal bank account under her name without his knowledge and had been putting money aside. She confessed this to him. The $35K payment to the architect was actually to her own account. She did pay for plans, but he had no idea what the amount was, as he doesn't have access to this account. I'm suspecting it was far less than she claimed. He got upset at this deceit, obviously. He worked out that there was just over $45,000 that had been transferred out over a couple of years, but she managed to convince him that she'd secretly been saving to buy him his dream car. He may have gotten this idea from another friend who did this for her boyfriend and bought him a motorbike for his 40th with a secret account. So he believed it. I'd bet money that no car comes from this. Anyway, so now he's saying he understands why she's so pissed, etc., because she feels connected to the home and is basically on her side. But C's brother is a corporate lawyer and basically told him he's dreaming if they think that they have a claim on the house. So they dropped the lawsuit idea, and the good news is that her parents put the house on the market anyway and accepted an offer within 4 days. They still have their kids enrolled in the school and are planning to commute back and forth. She's now saying this was always the plan. Insert eye roll. She's still getting the cash gift from it, but her parents told her to pull her head in or she'll get nothing. So that's that. We're also back to very little contact with C because T believes we're a bad influence on him and not supportive of their relationship. So it's pretty sad for us, but I guess he's happy, so I wish him the best. Well, this fine example is just blown up with our friends over the weekend. My husband's former best friend married several years ago, and it's safe to say their relationship is very toxic. She's very selfish and manipulative, so although we're still friends, he has no close friends anymore and can't go to anywhere or see anyone without her. Anyway, ever since we've known her, she's been telling everyone about her parents' lovely home in a very pricey part of town overlooking the river. She grew up there with her brother and moved out at 22. She's in her 30s now, but is always there visiting her parents with her kids. The parents aren't very well. Both have health problems and are in their late 60s and 70s. A few months ago, we had dinner at their place, and they showed us some blueprints for a renovation they were planning on her parents' house. I thought it was odd, but assumed they were helping her parents out, as they wouldn't have a clue on how to plan a reno. Fast forward to this weekend, and our friend turns up at our place saying they've had a massive fight because her parents had announced to the family that they were selling up and moving to a property in the country to focus on their health. They offered each of their children a $30,000 cash gift from the sale of the house. This was at a family dinner, and instead of being grateful for the gift, it turned into a shouting match with Beggars storming out. Apparently, Beggars was absolutely furious because she'd spent $35,000 on architect plans for the renovations, which sounds fair if the parents had asked for their help. However, it turns out neither her parents nor her brother had any idea about the renovation plans. This was her own plans based on her assumption that when her parents died, apparently she thought that wasn't far off, she would be the sole heir of the house. She obviously didn't think her brother would be entitled to anything. In addition to this, she'd already enrolled their kids into a prestigious school close by the parents' house and paid almost $5,000 in advance fees. They start school in 2 years, which is not refundable. She's now threatening to try and sue her parents to stop the sale of the house, which she claims should be a family decision, not a selfish one. LOL. Our friend had no idea about any of this. He was under the impression the parents had asked her for help and has now found out she had used some of their savings to pay the architect. Her argument is she thought they'd get it all back anyway when the house comes to them. She put a massive rant on social media, which was taken down shortly after when she realized the comments weren't going her way. Man, I wish I had a screenshot. Here's hoping this is the end of this toxic relationship and we get our friend back. Still enough time for the parents to cut her out of the will for being a totally selfish bee. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.